Welcome, everyone. I am Jessica Shaw. I am so thrilled to get to talk about season 3. We have waited a long time for this season. The first 2 episodes, we're going to see some of those tonight. The first 2 episodes premiere February 14th, Valentine's Day. I can't imagine a better way to spend Valentine's Day. Streaming on Paramount Plus with Showtime, and then every Friday after that. I've seen the first 2, they're great. Let's bring out this incredible cast. Lauren Ambrose, who plays Van. Tawny Cypress, Thaisa. Melanie Lynskey, Shauna. And Christina Ricci, who plays Misty. Welcome, all of you. And we're gonna talk about some clips, but just overall, what's it like when you all get back to filming and get back in these characters and get back in the world? It's been a minute since season 2, so how was it for you all just getting back into this?
Well, I think the first day that we were back, I spoke to, I forget, we were working together.
Probably
and I was
me.
like, do we? It was you. And I said, I think I forgot how to act.
But you didn't.
I mean, what do your producers say to you? Hey, this is the theme of this season. This is where we're going. This is what we're exploring. Or is it I got to read a script and then text my friends and say, like, holy shit?
It's the latter.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we find out script to script what happened in our pasts and what we'll be doing in our future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do give you kind of an overview
Yes.
of your own, but you don't hear about anything else, anyone else's.
And that I think it's just, it's such a huge show, and there are so many elements to it, and I think there's so much for everyone to juggle in terms of story and all that stuff. So I think that's just just because time is short and there's so much.
It's also just, especially after the strike, and so much had gone on for me to get back to work with these women. I mean, really a very special cast.
I think you heard
Already
us
crying.
backstage. When we get together, we're just like nonstop talking. So it's a bunch of chicken heads like in a room.
I know, I feel bad for everyone around us. I feel bad for everyone around us.
I do too. Trying to wrangle us. Yeah.
And it's a shorthand of women who have been working in this business for so long. And really, I mean, it's a lot of years of show business represented just on this stage. So it's pretty great to be around other people who share your experience in life. I mean, it's been...
I think about that a lot when I watch you all. That must be so special to just be able to say something and have any one of you be like, yep, been there.
deeply resonating. Yeah. Each.
Yeah, with work stuff and with life stuff, because, we all have kids and we all know what it's like to travel for work and be away. All I can hear is my own voice. That's all I can hear.
It sounds perfect. Well, before we show our first clip, we're going to show a few clips from the first couple of episodes. I want to just talk for a second about where we ended season 2. Not just with the younger girls with things are on fire, but there is almost a hunt. We see, Shauna picks the card, the no-eyed queen, and it gets real intense. And I was curious for all of you what it was like filming that moment, because Melanie, though you play it as like, God, like you're like, guys, this is not, we're not doing this. The three of you are all in a different place in that moment. So I was so curious how you approach that and how much you want to know about why you're playing it, how you're playing it.
For me, that scene was a little difficult because we got to shoot it and they said, okay, so this is the area that's lit that you can run in. And it was so small.
So short.
It was like a few steps. And I was like, but I'm running for my life. And they were like, well, what if you kind of believe them? And I was like, So I had to kind of, it's hard because I will fight for my instinct every time. And it was one of those things where I had to kind of compromise just logistically. They didn't have enough lit forest and there were reasons for that anyway. So I had to kind of half run and I just wanted to look at them, and because the ferocity and the feeling that was coming from everyone was so crazy, and I was just like, I feel that. I want to run as fast as I can, not like, you know.
But then they edit it so it looks like we're running miles. So, you can't trust the moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Just ignore your instinct.
Ignore it all. They're going to fix it in post.
Ignore all.
I still look like I'm running very slowly.
Yeah, I remember. I was there.
Did you all watch the hunts from your younger versions of yourselves to kind of see, oh, this is sort of what we're trying to replicate or what we're nodding to?
Well, I mean, I think we've all watched the episodes, so yeah, we knew what the hunts were about, and so we didn't go back and watch them like football reels or.
I did.
But it did. I will say, to your point, it is an interesting moment because everybody comes into that scene with everything that's going on presently in their lives, and like for my characters specifically, Misty, before she sort of met Walter, had no real reason to live. She had nothing to lose. And so all of a sudden, this character who should be so gung-ho about all of this stuff was all of a sudden given something to lose. So it was an interesting thing for me to play this sort of hesitancy to be involved in this and like, guys, this is crazy. And then where's the moment where you turn? And where is the moment, like, what is it that just wipes all of that out and all of a sudden you're willing to make animal noises and hunt your friend down? And I had to sort of pick a moment and just kind of, if the whole show is really a metaphor, not a metaphor, but the whole show, it's about trauma and horror is a metaphor for trauma and all of that stuff. I sort of picked when all of a sudden there was a victim identified, like that would incite the animal instinct to pursue and victimize.
So scary.
Yeah, whatever. That's how I made it work.
No, it's amazing. I got chills when you were saying
It's
that.
interesting because you have like Lottie on one end and Shauna on the other, I feel like, as these bookends, emotional bookends of the moment, and then figuring out where to sort of put your peg into where I am on that line.
Well, in my case, I mean, it was written in the script that she becomes other Ty, like in the middle of the thing. And so
we're going to talk about other Ty.
And so it was really a matter of when does that moment happen and can I portray that without words and is it going to come across or whatever. So it was a lot of like me going back to the directors like, does it read?
They're like, yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It was also, we said goodbye to Juliette Lewis last season. How was it filming for the last time with her?
It was sad. I think we were all really sad at that point. We all are pretty genuine people, and we have had, over the course of the seasons, like a real friendship and sisterhood. And so we've all fought, like screaming fights, and then all made up, and then all spent like 12 hours overnight in a tent in the woods together, getting silly and punch drunk. And And then I saw a clip of that scene today earlier when I was doing a show, and like I almost cried because it is like I think that we all have such affection and love for Juliet, and it was very sad to know that we were going to be going on without her.
Well, I want to play our first clip because we pick up this season in this first episode, and there's a funeral, and let's watch the post-funeral drinks. Melanie, tell me, where is Shauna when we begin this season? Because she's having this like existential crisis after Nat's funeral.
Well, when Ashley and Bart and Jonathan did the overview of the season, they said, Shauna's really trying to get it together. She wants to be better. She wants to be a better mother and a better wife and a good person. She's really thinking about who she is and really trying to do better. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting. It's one episode. It's one episode where she's like, oh, am I bad? And then it's just off the rails. Yeah. So that was interesting. I was like, I'd like to look into that. Oh, well, never mind. But yeah, that's the moment. You've seen it now.
Lauren, Van she is like
crazy
not
scars.
Taken,
What?
Yeah, I mean, how long do you sit in makeup every day?
Not long.
Yeah.
Because there's no other makeup other than the scars. No, it's striking to me. I was like, oh, right. Yeah. That's what I look like on this show.
I love that Van, it's interesting that you say the scars because I feel like in some ways she just puts it out there. She doesn't see, at least on this, doesn't seem to carry the same kind of emotional scars. She has the physical scars, but she's like, no, let's call it out. Like, we ate each other, and we're going to see you in hell. There's a real matter-of-factness to her that I love.
Yeah, I think there's a matter-of-factness and sort of, plainness about her speech, but I do think that Van is deeply messed up by what transpired out there, and it really is holding it as, as we all are, and that's kind of what, I don't know.
Yeah, Tawny, first of all, is Taissa ever going to go back to office? Is she ever going to hold an elected office again?
Absolutely not.
Where is she? Where is she at this season?
She is loving life. She can taste the air. She loves, she's got a woman she loves. She is loving, and food tastes sweeter, and for a little while, at least.
She does feel lighter.
Yes.
This season in a lot of ways.
She's having a good time. Yeah.
For now.
For now.
Yeah. Christina, you're not in that scene. Misty is, obviously because she was ultimately the one who killed Nat, going through her own thing. So how did I guess, what is going to be her storyline about processing the loss of Nat, someone who she really felt connected to?
Well, I think when we find her in the beginning of this season, she's very much unable to connect with her grief. And so she's avoiding all the things that would highlight that even more. So why she doesn't go to the funeral or the memorial service. But then she finds a way to connect to her grief in other ways, and that leads her to just sort of upend her life in some ways, not completely, but a little bit, and then to kind of examine, since Natalie was her best friend, to re-examine the friendships, quote-unquote friendships, she has in her life, and that leads to a lot of revelations, I think, for her.
Yeah. How do you all approach their friendships? They're at different, you know, I mean, obviously Van and Taya have a romance, like it's a different kind of connection. But how do you navigate what the connection is between these people? Because
they're frenemies. I mean, there's, you know, they share a trauma bond. They probably know each other better than most other people know them, but kind of hate each other. You know, I don't...
Kind of like a dysfunctional family.
Yeah.
Like, the only people that will ever understand what you went through are the family members that were there, but you don't necessarily like them. Mm-hmm. Or you do.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to make specific decisions, I guess, about the people. Like, I had to make a decision about Misty. Mm-hmm. And, like, why am I so mad at Misty? And I made some decisions. And I hope the storyline supports it. But, you know, you have to kind of make it up a little bit because they have gotten more vague with us, our writers,
And they always switch it up. That's what television is, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I would have said, based on first season, that Shauna was Thais's closest friend.
I thought we were going to make out.
I mean, like I said online, I was shipping them. But then it's not, you know, then you find out a couple years later that it's, you know, there are a lot of underlying issues that have not been resolved. Right. And then it's really just about rectifying why you were friends in season one, you know?
And
so
what the kids, I'll lovingly call them, they're not kids, they're brilliant actors, but what they're doing out there informs what our characters are up to so much, and we're kind of finding that out in real time on, you know, as the scripts come in and what's actually transpired, because, you know, the dynamics are shifting so fast and furiously out there.
It's interesting because when I was watching this clip, I thought so much about how much trauma young Shauna went through in season 2.
Know.
Like profound, and just
My little Sophie.
like trauma and anger and rage. I mean, there's so much, and I was thinking about how you have to be carrying everything that happened last season and the season before, but she really had so much last season into this moment and bringing that thread into this particular existential crisis.
I do love, my favorite things in our scripts are when they meld the two timelines together and things come up in the present as they're happening in the past, and you feel those worlds colliding. There was an episode last season for me where I felt like they did that really well, right after, you know, Sophie's character, you know, went through losing the baby and everything, and then we were at the compound and I had the goat and the whole thing, and I was like, I love this. I love, like, and we've all had moments like that where it's coalesced in a way where, like, to me, that's why the show is so special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you all study? I mean, like, how much did you, you know, and I know that, of course, you watch all of the episodes, but how much did you really, like, pause on your younger version of yourself on screen and be like, okay, I want to see if I can find a little detail, how they carry themselves or how they move their head or whatever it is that I want to pull through?
No, not since the first season. We talked about the character. We worked on the character a little bit together in the first season. And I think, as with everybody, we pretty quickly found out that the casting directors were brilliant, and we carry ourselves the same way naturally. You know, we do a lot of the same things naturally. So we didn't really have to. We saw the character the same way. And so a little bit in the first season, but now we just talk about life.
I got to come on in the second season, so I did get to watch Liv and everything they did, and just tried to let the character wash over me. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like by doing that as I watched. I just felt the essence of this character and the essence of them, and just tried to bring that to work on the scenes. Like the sort of essence that I feel of Liv.
Yeah, I mean, the casting is just bonkers brilliant. It's really incredible. All right, well, excuse me, Christina, since we didn't see you in this first clip, we're going to play another clip. This one with you and Elijah Wood, who plays Walter. I'm already pulling for a spinoff, like a detective spinoff, with the two of you. But let's see what happens with them. I gotta say, the scene is so funny, but the look on your face in the final second of that is devastating. It is like, it feels like, to me, it feels like Misty, like she could sort of plow through some of her feelings in the first 2 seasons, and she's not able to do that this season.
Yeah, I think she's really, at that moment, she's like, what mess have I gotten myself into, and how do I get rid of this man? Because like in that moment, she's just like, I want to do what I want to do. I don't want to hear what you're saying, and you're really bumming me out right now.
You worked with Elijah when you guys were little kids.
Well, 15.
I mean,
So not that little.
ish.
Like almost legal.
Teenagers.
Teenagers.
How was it like being back in a scene together?
Well, I mean, it's very different. Working as children, we have separate tutors and separate trailers, and I was a crazy teenager, so he was not allowed to be alone with me. So we didn't really like meeting as adults. It was like, oh, hi, I'm normal now, and we're all in our 40s. So it was very different.
Craziest thing you did as a teenager?
Oh, God, I can't. I have publicists to protect me from myself. So.
Okay, craziest thing Elijah did as a teenager.
He seemed really well behaved.
It's funny because I think that some of what he says is like kind of taking hold in her.
Well, yeah, it does provoke, we'll see in later episodes that a lot of her, as much as she doesn't want to hear it, the reason she doesn't want to hear it is because she knows it's true. And then it sort of provokes later on really her, becoming very circumspect about the relationships, and then ultimately really being angry about the lack of, the attitude everyone has about her.
Yeah. Melanie, you said a couple minutes ago that you have in your mind why Shauna's angry at Misty. Do you run that stuff past like the writers?
You know what you did.
I mean, I don't.
Like, is that stuff that you just want to kind of carry in you and just like this speaks to you, or are you like, can this be what happened in the show?
I mean, I feel like, can this be what happened in the show? But I'm not going to ask anyone. I did ask Jonathan at a certain point to like confirm something.
Did he? Did he?
Yeah.
And you're going to tell me later?
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
Okay, great.
I think you already know. I feel like we've already talked about it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I pay such close attention.
You do, though.
No, I know. I'm just making fun of myself.
Who's the most curious? Like, who wants to know, like, what happens down the line and filling in? You do.
You get the most information.
I don't get any information.
You do.
They lie to me all the time. I don't trust a word out of their mouth. So I want to know all these things, but I'm like, you're not going to tell me the truth. So I just make
I
up
don't ask
my
because
own
I don't want to be annoying, and I know they're dealing
Me
with
too.
so much. I mean, there's 15 series regulars or 10 or something crazy.
200.
When I get Ashley,
And they're adding
away from
more every
work,
day.
when I get Ashley away from work, I can get some answers out of her sometimes. That's pretty fun.
Because they've talked about it, that like they know how the series ends. I mean, they know. I mean, do you all, without obviously saying if you do know, do you know?
No. I'll just be honest, no.
No, when they pitched the show to me, I was very nervous. So I just wanted to know that they had a plan. Like, I was like, is this just a cool pilot with nothing to back it up? So they were very, very, very detailed about season 1. Everything that happened in season 1 is what they told me. And then they were like, here's what we're thinking for 2 and 3. And then I was like, okay, great. I trust you. You seem like you've thought about it. That's all I wanted. So I don't know. I hope we get to do it. Listen, I'm always prepared for the worst.
Well, as far as things they said about this season, Ashley, your Ashley Lyle, co-creator and EP, said, "Buckle up this season. The cannibalism cat is out of the bag." Who would like to elaborate?
They eat a lot of people.
I definitely think, I mean, in my opinion, I feel like this season is as good or better than the first season.
I think it's better. I think it's
I
the
think
best
it's
season.
better.
Yeah.
I feel like the proudest of it. Like in terms of coming home at the end of the day and being like, I feel like good about what I did today.
Although at times it was so challenging that I'd come home at the end of the day and just
God.
be like, "Ooh, I made some really bizarre choices today. Let's hope this works."
You're like, oh man, I hope that worked. Yeah.
No.
And seeing the episodes, they did cut out a lot of my bizarre choices, so apparently they didn't work. But it's interesting to take such like specific characters, and then, you know, for me, like my character is so specific, and then to take her and then put her in more relatable situations, I think is always a challenge for me. And so I really felt tested this season, I'd say.
That's interesting. In a way that
You're
you weren't.
amazing.
Yeah, because there were more, you know, she's very, like the first and second season, she's very like in denial and dealing with one thing at a time, and it's all very surface, and it's all about her feeling things. And in this season, she feels things and does things and reacts to her emotions, so it was like a different version of that character, and sometimes I just felt like I had no idea if what I was doing even made sense, or if they were just going to play the whole scene on the back of my head, which they could have.
I saw all 3 of these women, God, don't cry challenge, and Simone do like the most extraordinary things this season, like just earth-shattering, like emotional, beautiful stuff, and I feel so excited for everyone to see it. Like, and I've only seen 4 episodes, but oh my God, you guys are so fucking good. It's crazy.
And we all
It's
got to work
crazy.
together a lot more this season, which has been really amazing for us. Because in the past, it would be like we were all on our own storylines and then come together for like the last episode or whatever. And so to be able to all work together, I think was just so incredible this season.
Yeah.
I mean, it must have been crazy after the first season when it was like, oh my God, people were like, they must have been coming up to you every 2 seconds. It was just like, there were so many eyes on you. Did that sort of like that pressure sit on you?
Well, I was so pregnant I couldn't leave my house when the show premiered, and then I had the baby, and then I was in my house trying to recover from how much my body jiggled. So I don't really, I didn't really feel any of that, and I don't know how to check Reddit. I can't.
That's hilarious.
I can't have a membership.
That's a good
because
thing.
my
That's so
Google,
funny.
my Google is in Romanian, and I don't know how to change it. So I can't have Reddit because you have to have a Google account. So I can't see
That's
how famous, like how successful the show is.
Surely there's a way, but I think it's for the best.
It probably is. But I mean, I would say that after the first season, when we came back, and like after the first season, it was so successful. Like coming back the second season, I did feel a lot of like, oh God, let's do this again. And how did I do this? And like God, and you know, there were times when I was like, you're trying too hard, you're doing too much. So it's hard to not let that sort of pressure affect you, I
We
think.
had a long time between the first and second seasons.
How did you welcome Lauren in?
We hugged her, we kissed her. I reminded her of how I knew her when we were young.
I was so nervous, you know, the new kid, the FNG, coming onto this set and with all these actresses who I admire so much and I love the show so much. And I walked in with my weird scars and I'm like, oh, what am I doing here? And Tawny was just immediately like, "Hi, we've been waiting for you, and let me put you on the group text, and let's just get you into this thing." And so I'm just so grateful for being so warmly welcomed by these human beings and incredible artists.
Well, I want to show our third clip, which is with Van and Thaisa, and I love their love. I know. I love their love. So let's, not that it's all goes super smoothly. Let's watch. Was the chemistry from the very beginning, was it like, yes, like we work well together in the show?
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited to work with her. She's a great scene partner. Will say that almost every single scene I do this season is with Lauren, and it was it's a thrill being on the show. I have such imposter syndrome; it's crazy. I know, and I'm not allowed to say that, but I do. But yeah, I mean, it's easy to fall in love with Lauren. First of all, I got a major thing for redheads. I think that's well known online. But but also, I mean, it's just so easy when you're working these long hours and you're talking constantly. You find so many things. I did. A part of me fell in love with her.
Oh. Well, Tawny's a very beautiful actor and human, so we just found our way.
Yeah.
I
think our goal was to tell a beautiful love story. You know? Yeah. And
Which is so, because to the backdrop of so many horrible things that go on, there are these moments, I think especially this season, at least early on, where it's like, and this is like a ray of sunshine in some really bad things that the show is, emotional things that the show is digging into. So,
yeah, that's fun.
It must be nice to be able to, I don't know, to play that role in
Yeah, I mean, it's always weird kissing people that, you know, like, that's crazy. That's a crazy part of my job. It's wild. So yeah, we got through that. Like, it's tough, but we trust each other, and for the most part, we were like, you know, we felt safe with each other. So I feel like that really helps, you know, to feel safe with the person you're supposed to be in love with.
It's not always the case,
No.
but we're for each other in life and on set, and
Big time.
it was a beautiful thing to get to do these scenes with, like, great actor, great person, and, you know, you're spending, it's so long, and also, you know, the writing can be mysterious, and, you know, you have a lot of questions, and the people on set don't necessarily have the answers, so we have to really kind of find our way together, and that's, I mean, that's just often the case with television. When you guys were talking before, it's like, you know, it's written quickly, and then we do it quickly, and the days are long, and then it's like, it's over, and you're like, what just happened? And there wasn't always time to analyze as you're going, but, and that's just sort of the nature of the thing. But so to have collaborators who are, you know, you can trust is like, it just, and really it's to have these actresses there that you can trust.
I think there's a lot of trust between all of us, very much so, yeah.
And there is like exposition I mean, we find out something about Ty and about maybe like what happened, and that she wanted this, like, quote unquote respectability, and it was like there are these little moments where you're like, oh, that was like a breadcrumb that was just dropped that we're, you know, hopefully going to know more about. But I feel like we've reached the point where we have to talk about Evil Ty. So, like, what can you tell us?
I'm winging it. There's no blueprint here. It's fun. I feel like I play 5 different characters on this show. Like, the first season Ty is so different from second season Ty. Third season Ty is different than either of the first seasons. And then there's other Ty, you know, and that's a lot of fun. Yeah, I do some acting with myself this season. It's gonna be interesting. That's one of those times when I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? God, I hope that reads right.
But I
always
saw
so
some of that
incredible.
stuff, and it was awesome. It's really like she throws
She's
down
amazing.
some crazy stuff.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. You're gonna get a lot of different shades of Ty this season.
Lauren Van drops like an F-bomb. I feel like Claire Fisher would appreciate it. I mean, come on. Like, I feel like you are an actor who just digs into like a good fucking
Good
script.
sailor talk. Yes. Yeah. I don't know what to say. It's true. I don't know. It comes very easily. I don't know.
What was it like watching your seasons 1 and 2 back? Like after you wrapped, after you went through all of these intense things, or, Tawny, after you have moments where you're literally acting opposite yourself and, or looking at something that's you. How was it when you saw the whole show put together?
Honestly, I didn't get it when I was doing it. I was like, what happened to Ty? What is going on with this girl? But then actually when I watched it, I was like, I get it. Like and I knew it at the time that that's what was happening, but it was so far from the first season, and I really just had to trust the process. And then it really made sense to me, Ty just becoming bare and wanting somebody to save her and da-da-da. So, yeah, it was interesting watching it. It helped me gain perspective.
Was there a moment for all of you earlier on that kind of really sort of clicked of like, oh, this was a scene I needed to fully understand this character?
I mean, a lot of times, I will say, we shoot scenes and they aren't always, when they're edited and presented, they can be very different than the scenes that you thought you shot. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes the way those scenes are changed and edited is informative. And sometimes I'll feel like I don't really know what's happening or what the point is, but I'm just gonna do my stuff. And then later I'll see it, I'll edit it together and I get it. I don't know if that's because I'm dumb, but
I don't know if
just
this
happens.
goes with that, but like this past season with that one thing that you guys had to freaking repeat in every goddamn episode.
My thing?
Yeah. Yes, darling, yes.
Over again? Yeah.
And then we have to trust the system.
Yes, because they probably aren't going to use the 3 times of me yelling the line. They're just going to use it once. But they're going to
What's
choose.
the line? Can you tell us?
I just
Yeah, we should.
no. Well, I think
I'm
it's fine
always like,
because
yeah,
we get in a fight,
yeah.
and I get very angry very quickly. And then the same thing keeps being brought up. She keeps accusing me of the same thing. So
Every episode.
Every episode. So each time I would match the level of anger I had been at and go a little bit over. And it got to the point where they were like, but you just seem so angry. And I was like, yes, because I've now defended myself against this 3 fucking times. So yes, she's gonna be really mad. And not thinking like they might not use all 3. And you don't know that.
Yeah.
It's and that was explained to me at a certain point, and I was like, oh, so this thing I'm doing is actually not going to work.
But mean about the television, you kind
It's
of got to go
television.
with the.
It's how it is.
Like,
And
what's happening?
Water.
And like I having a strong background in film, I don't really always understand that, and I've had to learn so much making this show, and that was something I learned this season, was that if they're having you repeat something 3 times, they're probably not going to use all 3. So don't make a shtick thing out of it, because it won't make sense. So learn that lesson. That was fun.
You know what? We had a screening of, I don't know what it was. It was some episode where we all were in that weird space in
Not the sharing shack.
airplane hangar or something. I can't remember.
Are
what
you
happened.
talking about not the sharing shack?
No. When
we
we
never
had a
mention the
screening
sharing
with a whole crew, and we were
You
in
mean
like,
at the
Remember when
end of
they-
the second season
Oh, I
where they
know what
showed
you
us
mean.
the
and I
first
really
episode?
hadn't seen anything that I was in it because yet, and I saw. Well, I don't really love watching myself in anything, but I love watching this because I get to see everyone's work, and also I've never shared a character with another human being. And I realized, oh, when they're on screen, I'm on screen. You know, for all of us, when we're literally sharing the character, that we're in tandem. So the storyline is going constantly with these people. And the penny didn't drop yet until I saw Liv and I together, you know, in the same storyline. It's like, oh, it's just doing this, and so that was unique.
I mean, speaking of Liv, I want to show our last clip. It's first of all, it's a beautifully written moment and acted just perfectly. None of you are in it, but
We'll watch it anyway.
your characters.
I mean,
are.
it's fine.
Yes. So let's play the last one. This season is also bears a lot of humor in this season, and I feel like that moment is great. Although then you see young Shauna, like, I love her rage journal. I love the rage journal.
Oh my God, me too. I love it so much, and Sophie loves it. Sophie's so excited when she gets to be angry. She loves it. Yeah, she's so good at it.
In my fantasy, I feel like they wrote out a full journal and presented it to you so you could read it. Didn't happen, did it?
Nope. That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be hot.
Yeah.
Do you ever go and watch, I don't know if you film, do you shoot near where they shoot?
No.
Nowhere near.
No.
Also, when they're filming, you know, it's main unit and we're main unit. So when they're filming, we're not filming.
Right.
It's not like it happens.
Yeah, and we usually go home to be with our children, go back and forth, you know. So they shoot our stuff as much as they can. Our amazing ADs really try to help us with doing blocks of shooting so that we can then go home and be away for a few days. So it's, you know, it's hard to go out there and, yeah. For sure. Yeah.
We're going to see we saw a little bit in the trailer. We're going to see some new cast members this season. Hilary Swank, Joel McHale, Ashley Sutton. I know you're not going to tell us anything, but what can you tell us?
I can tell you.
Oh, great. Dish, Melanie, bring it. How would you describe any of their characters? An adjective.
I'm not sure we're allowed to.
I don't think so.
We literally would, they would
I don't think
kill
we're
us.
even allowed to say whether we get to act with them or not.
Rather than saying if we're allowed or not, ladies, let's say we're keeping the secrets like magicians for you, not from you.
Oh, I love that.
Well played. Well, then I don't know if you do act with them, but if you do, how was it? I mean, it's an intense, as you talked about, there's...
Jessica,
You do. Did you have fun?
so sneaky.
Had that happened,
Well, oh, you got
had that happened, I'm sure it would have been amazing. And I'm sure we would have all been thrilled. We may or may not have been thrilled. We may or may not have had a really great time with them and felt challenged and satisfied and excited. Mm-hmm. Right?
I did a movie with Joel McHale,
could
and he
have
was
happened.
great.
Yeah.
It's great.
Okay. Well, I truly can't wait to see them. I want to get to some of the audience questions. What has been the biggest surprise for each of you in playing your roles?
I did not originally know that my character was comedic because you have to understand that all I saw was the pilot script in which my character like heinously abused an old lady, and there was no comedy. So, and the only, we did the script read through, and then at the end of it, Melanie was like, "You're so funny," and I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I was not being funny. I was being awful." And then we went to shoot the season, and the second script came, and I was like, "Oh wow, am I funny?" And so that was really a surprise for me that I'm still adjusting to.
Christina Ricci does not know her superpower of being hilarious, apparently, and being like an amazing
I feel really uncomfortable.
clown. Like an amazing.
You're
I hate
so
being a
good.
clown.
You're not a
Thanks,
clown.
everybody.
It's like
I don't need.
and to
I don't
me,
need the
clown,
reassurance.
Clown is like the highest level compliment there can possibly be.
Thank you.
Like the
but
great.
all I'm
greats.
saying is that it was a surprise to me. I didn't realize.
And now I'm guessing playing Misty is like, I mean, she's, first of all, her cat wardrobe, she's got some good cat clothing this
Me,
season.
I really like cats more than I like birds. So I'm always like, why don't we do the kitty sweater instead of the bird shit?
I love that.
We all contribute. Everyone contributes
That's
different
my
ideas
contribution.
to
The cat sweater. No, I do enjoy playing her. She is really fun, and I've sort of found a way to be comfortable with the comedy.
I think. I'm sorry. You go.
no, you go.
You were next. Actually, you're
Well, not
next
really.
chair over.
Are we doing it like?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. What was the biggest surprise?
Prize.
Oh.
Didn't take the role.
Should I? Oh. Well, I think the biggest surprise for me. There was one day where they're like, "Oh, they've cast your husband," and I was like, "We didn't do like chemistry reads or anything. Like, who is this person?" And I met him, and I was like, "Well, you seem nice, but what a like treasure Warren is, and just how well we've like meshed with each other, and how well we work together. Because so much of my stuff is with him, and I just feel like incredibly safe and lucky, and that was just the thing I was the most nervous about, because it's so strange to not meet someone and know that the bulk of your storyline is going to be opposite them, and then it's been so great.
For me, it was working with women who were inclusive. I've been in this industry for 25 years, and it's rare. It's very rare. So I expected to go in and have a lot of egos and just deal with it. You slog on, But not only are these women beautiful and talented, but they are so inclusive. Like, we are a team. And that's really all I ever wanted, to be on a team. So that was the most surprising thing, to have so many non-egos.
With Hillary Swank and Joel McHale.
Well, Joel, no.
How about you, Lauren? Was there something that sort of surprised you as you continued to play her?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'll just echo what Tawny said. It was, I guess, a surprise to me personally how much I guess I needed in my life to be on this show with all of these women my age who I've never had that experience before. Like, I saw the call sheet and saw all these women's names, and it's just who I've admired for so long, and I don't know. It's just that was a revelation, just to be on this team.
It feels like it should be an experience that you all have had so many times, and yet the fact that this is so singular is like both wonderful and sad, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. There aren't that many things where it's a whole bunch of ladies. Like, just no way. And
the music is incredible in the show. Sarah and
No,
Brie
we're
want to
wrong.
know, what song would you put in the show if you could music supervise?
I think we need more Sonic Youth, but that's just me.
I mean, there's so much.
I also really love the Pixies, and I have found that the music supervisor is one of those Pixies haters, so we're never having the Pixies. No, we were doing a panel together, and I was like, "But what about the Pixies?" And she was like, "Oh, you're a Pixies fan?" No. And I was like, "Oh, noted.
Christina?
I guess we're never having any
supervisor?
Pixies on the show."
Well, that's tragic.
I know
That
I
is
love-
tragic.
I've made my peace.
Jane's Addiction.
Yeah.
I
That'd
would
be
love.
good,
They're
too.
one of my favorite bands. But we're just naming bands we love.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like Barry Manilow.
I like Anna Waronker, who's the lady I think who you're talking about, and she's got an awesome band. So I hope they put some That Dog. Do you guys remember That Dog?
Oh
It was
yeah.
Anna Waronker's band. She's
right.
really super cool. She's a super cool lady.
Since the show is set in New Jersey, Yes,
Yeah.
shout out to Jersey.
Tawny and I are from New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Couple Jersey
People will be like,
tomatoes.
Exit?
People will be like, you're saying that word
I
wrong.
don't have
And I'm
an
like,
exit.
I'm from the place that we are. I'm pretty sure it's fine.
Yes.
I love that there would be an accent, like person on set, like a
I'm not an
continuity.
accent person, but they'll be like, you're saying that word really funny. And I'm like, that's how we say
Yeah.
it in Jersey. Mountain, kitten. Yeah.
What is something quintessentially Jersey that you would like to see featured?
Oh my God, pork roll. Oh my God, I want pork roll so bad on the show. I actually get it shipped to me in Colorado because I love it so much. What'd you say? Bagels. Bagels, okay. Subs. Come on, it's Jersey.
I think we should do more diners that actually look like the Jersey diners. Like I spent my whole high school after, parties at diners.
Yeah.
Disco fries.
I agree.
Did the two of you have to be schooled in the Jerseyness by your cast
No,
members?
it doesn't really. I don't think it really affects
Closer.
anybody else.
Yeah, I know all about water ice.
I was married to someone from New Jersey.
It's driven
Beautiful,
through many
very beautiful
times.
state. My ex-mother-in-law still
secret
lives
gem.
there. I love her with all my heart. Yeah, Mary Simpson.
Nice shout out.
I love her.
We watch your characters in two storylines. What has it been like learning a role you share with your younger counterpart?
I think it's really fun. I've never shared a role either, so I thought it was really a lot of fun to create this character together.
I was excited to have a, to be able to sort of. Liv Hewson made this very cool character, and so I'm just glad that I got to, help flesh out what happens with that character.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's fun to watch the younger cast do what they do with these characters, and for me, it's so fun to watch Samantha and be Misty in that moment, and it's also really informative.
Is there something that you put on? I'm thinking about how well the wardrobe team did, and just hair and makeup with the hair consistency with the two Misties and everything. Like it's just there. Is there something that your character puts on that is like, okay, now I clicked in?
I mean, for me, it's probably that awful wig. I have that
love
wig
the
ready.
wig.
I know, but the second they're like, you're wrapped, that wig comes off my head. I'm pulling
The second.
Crocs.
I mean, someone tried to like wrap us out, me and Tawny, and while they were talking, I didn't realize they were going to keep talking, and so I was like taking my wig off, and then they started talking, and it was hanging in my face, and I was just like, I just have to get this thing off my head. So I think the wig really does it for me. Yeah, the Crocs I love, and I wear Crocs in my real life, so I will take no insults about the Crocs.
First of all, in answer to the other question, because I can't not talk about Sophie Nélisse, because I adore her. I love her so much. Yes. Oh, God, she's so good. She's so good. It's amazing to feel like you're creating something with someone, especially like someone that talented. Like it just feels, I imagine what she's going to do, and then actually watching it, I'm just like, oh, God. It's just like breathtaking, and I just feel like so much of my work is done by Sophie, the way she's just inhabiting that, and also like she's so good at like rage, so it encourages me to push myself a bit more, and then I guess a flannel shirt.
Yes. I love it. Yes. Do you guys have something?
I do not know.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, ties change so much. There's not really anything, Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the brown contacts. When I put those in and everything is then sepia toned, then I'm like, I'm in character. Ha-ha!
Did you ask them why you were the one that had to do the contacts?
It's easier to change green to brown than
It
brown to
is.
green.
Oh,
Looks more believable.
I did not know that. Tricks of the trade. Lauren, I'm guessing after you're in makeup, you're like, I'm Van.
Yeah. The
Swipe of the chapstick.
The shirt, the pants, the shoes, swipe of chapstick.
Good to go.
Camera ready.
We once were doing a scene that was taking a really long time. And the DP came over, this last season. I was like, sorry, the scene's taking so long. It's just all the beauty lighting. And I went, I'm sorry. Did you just say it was all the beauty lighting? Because we've all seen what we look like on this show. And that's a load of crap. Do you remember that? We all are like, oh, wow, so that's what we look like on this show, huh? Amazing.
I
Wonderful.
always appreciate my inside thoughts being voiced by Christina. So I'll be like, and then you...
Like, wow, that's for posterity.
All right, last question. I love this question because I've been trying to get any intel. In season 3, do we learn what that symbol means?
Do we?
First of all, why do you want to know that?
First
That's
of all,
a big one.
Yeah, we can't say. We're not allowed to. You're trying to get us into trouble, whoever wrote that question. And
It was Hilary Swank who wrote it.
also, clearly, we don't know the
You in the
answer.
back. I knew it was her.
Genuinely. I can't remember.
I don't know if we can answer that.
No, we can't.
No,
So
sorry. But you will get major answers.
You're going to get so many answers, you'll forget about that question.
Yeah.
Okay, really last question then. Was there a moment where when you read a script for an episode in season 3 where you actually gasped?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Many.
It's one
Many
of Melanie's scenes. And I was like, oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I keep saying this, but
Crazy.
I really hope to make everybody simultaneously bawl their eyes out while throwing up.
So specific.
I feel like I can get there. I feel like we're going to get there together this
Respectable
season.
goal. I like it.
Yes. Well, Valentine's Day goals perfectly because season 3 of Yellowjackets premieres on the 14th. The first 2, we saw a little bit of those, but streaming on Paramount Plus with Showtime. I love this show. Season 3 is absolutely incredible, what I've seen so far, and I can't wait to watch the rest of it. I want to thank everyone here so much for coming. I want to thank this incredible cast, Lauren Ambrose, Tawny Cypress,
Thanks for coming out.
Melanie Lynskey, and Christina Ricci so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Jessica.
92 Rock.
Thank you.